Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of Behindthelikestv. I'm your host, Melissa Angelica, and today we have Nate, a young entrepreneur. He's a social media influencer from Trinidad, and today he's going to take us through his journey behind the likes. Hey Nate, thank you so much for being here with us today.
No problem.
Our first interview, are you excited?
Yeah, this is actually my first interview, so I'm more nervous than excited, but we're going to say I'm excited.
All right, we'll take it easy on you a little bit, we'll see. But first I want to start off with your audience that don't know much about you and you growing up. So tell us a little bit of an insight of what it was like growing up for you.
Okay, so basically I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, which is in the Caribbean. I actually was born in New York, but my parents were from the Caribbean, so we moved back there when I was around 2 years old.
Yes.
And I grew up there, went to school there. And honestly, I'm the first person that grew up in Trinidad to make it at this level on social media. Okay. So that's really dope. But it had a lot of trials that I had to go through before I got to this level. My parents didn't want me to do this, and I was living in my parents' house, and they wanted me to go to college, do a regular job, all that, and I wasn't trying to, at first I wanted to do that, but after a while, I was like, I hate school, why am I here?
Yeah.
So I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, and when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor, right? And then they were like, try to figure something more realistic and all that, and I was like, so I went to school, tried that, finished high school, and then at that point I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to try something different. So I created a YouTube channel, started doing that, told my parents about it, and they were totally against it. And I still continue making videos though. I took a summer job because they were like, okay, if you're gonna stay here, you gotta get a job. So I did a job. I worked in a bookstore. And then while I was there, I started reading books. And then I came across this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And it really expanded my mind on the way that I wanted to live and the way that I wanted my life to be. So after reading that, I was supposed to work the job for 2 months during the summer. So I just quit after the first month. And then I stayed home, and then I stayed consistent with YouTube. And then they were like, it's either you go to school or you live here. So I legit left the house. And then from that, I was going couch to couch. I went to my dad's house, my friend's house. And then I eventually spoke to my aunt who lives in Canada. And I flew out to Canada, and then I stayed there for a solid year. And I was grinding out there too. I was doing Omegle and chat roulette videos, and that was going well. And then I just kept pushing and pushing until eventually I made it to the level where I wanted to be. And then I went back to Trinidad for a solid year after Canada, and then I got a crib down there, and I stayed there for a while. But it's so crazy down there that I didn't want to stay there anymore because it had so much crime and stuff. So I was like, okay, so I wanted to move back to the U.S. So I moved to the U.S. Then went to Florida, and then in Florida was when it really took off, when I started making prank videos, challenges and stuff. And after that, I moved to Houston, where we're at right now. And after Houston, I moved to LA, and that's where I met my girlfriend, Michaela. And then it's just been up and up since that. Yeah.
So you started with Omegle, you said the chat roulette. What made you do the transition to the pranks?
I mean, Omegle and chat roulette were fun, but especially when I was in Trinidad, people was like, oh, he's so strange for making these type of videos and stuff. And the way how I was talking to girls and flirting and stuff. But I was like, okay, it's a bigger picture behind it. But the reason that I tried pranks and challenges was because I got tired of it, especially from doing it so many times. And then plus when I was doing it, I had so much internet problems that it was hard for me to connect with people on Omegle and chat roulette. So I had to find an alternative, and that was the more in real life type videos. So that's why I made the switch, and then I'm glad I made the switch because we're here right now.
Would you ever, like, have you ever considered making another switch, like changing your channel completely to some other category?
I mean, the only switch that I made from here would be like no pranks, no challenges, and just strictly vlogs.
Okay.
But that's super hard to like just do only vlogs because people have to be like super interested in what you're doing every day. So it's super hard. So you gotta build that foundation to be able to do that. So right now I'm trying to work on building the foundation, and then eventually that's the plan.
So your parents now, you were just talking about how they weren't supportive back then. At what point were they like, okay, like we see him doing something with this, like we were wrong, essentially?
I mean, it's never at that point where they feel like they're wrong. They see the outcome, but I wouldn't say they fully support it even now.
Really?
They'd probably be like, you still need to go to college, you still need to do this and that. And I feel the complete opposite, but like they came from like a different environment, so I can't blame them for how they feel because
they're more traditional.
Yeah, when they grew up, social media and all this stuff wasn't like around, so I could understand where they're coming from. And especially like right now, social media doesn't necessarily have to be something that is gonna last forever, but you gotta make smart moves while it's here. Exactly. So that's what I plan on doing.
Do you ever feel like you might dabble in college again one day, or is that chapter
honestly
closed?
It's been in my mind, but the only reason I go to college is to study business, but like I prefer to learn it without going
like
to college.
hands-on.
Like, and from people that actually do it, because like why I feel strange like me going to learn something from someone that doesn't make as much as I make. Like how can you teach me what I'm already doing, and I'm probably doing it better than you, and you're telling me what I'm supposed to do? So it's like, it doesn't make sense to me, basically.
Yeah. So young Nate, at what point did he realize, like, I want to entertain, like this is what I want to do, and you took the steps to get here?
I mean, I'd probably say I was probably around 11 or 12, and that was when I told my parents that I wanted to be an actor. And they were like, you should do something more realistic. But I feel like the steps that I took would be like me creating a YouTube channel. Honestly, like the channel that I'm on right now wasn't even my first channel. I wanted to be like a gamer. I wanted to do gaming videos. So I tried that for like a solid, I want to say a year. And it wasn't going the way that I wanted it to go. So I just was like, okay, let me try something different. Yeah, so I switched from gaming, and then I started doing the Omegle and chat roulette videos, and then from that, I noticed like an increase, and people wanted to see what I was doing. So from that, I switched to challenges and pranks, and then
So throughout this journey, what are some struggles that you have had to face with?
I mean, some of the struggles would be no support, like from parents, family, having to move from house to house, basically having to do all this stuff on my own without any assistance, and I don't know, that's about it.
So you don't have like an assistant, like you straight up do this like on your own?
Yeah, I straight up do this, edit, film, record, no assistant. But right now my girlfriend helps me. Like we do videos, we do challenges and stuff. Sometimes I prank her. She rarely ever pranks me because she's not really good at pranking, but she feels like she is. But you know, I'm the prank king anyway. Well, that's basically that's basically.
So what's it like in the household? Is there like tension? Like, damn, when is she gonna get me, or vice versa? Are you always on your toes?
Honestly, I don't have to be on my toes. Sometimes she gets me. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes she does, but sometimes I know when it's coming, so I know how to, maneuver. So I'm never really on my toes, but she should always be on her toes because
you be getting her.
Yeah, I be getting her.
We all.
I don't know why, but it happens.
Has there ever been a time where you guys like legit got in an argument? Like this has gone too far with the pranks. Has she ever like told you enough with the pranks?
Yeah, when we were in LA, I actually did a prank. I don't remember what prank it was, but she left the house, and she left for like, I want to say a solid week.
Really?
Yeah, and she didn't come back. So sometimes it's crazy, but I'm trying to entertain, you know, my viewers, my supporters. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And then we kiss and make up, so it's always good.
Do you ever feel like there's a line, like, what's the line, like, I'm not gonna cross this because I'm just not sure. Like, I just, you know what I mean? Like, morally, like, I just don't want to cross it.
Is there a line?
Because I've seen some pretty savage stuff on your channel.
I mean, I try to be as savage as possible, but right now we're doing a prank war, right? So she's trying to be savage to me as well. So it's like, is there really a line? Because I don't want to get pranked like crazy, and then my return prank is like something basic. So I wouldn't say there's a line because we're both trying to top like the person's prank. So I wouldn't say there's a line, no.
No. So for your supporters watching, that want to, you know, pursue a YouTube career as you, or like a social media career as you have created for your own, what would be some steps that you would, you know, step by step that you would tell them?
I would say first you got to find and figure out what you really want to, what content you really want to make. And then once you figure that out, you got to be consistent. You got to post like every day. You got to be innovative. You got to try to do stuff that people haven't done before. And it's always quality over quantity. And once you stay persistent and not like listen to what everyone else has to say and how you feel, then you can do it. Because when like people, when you're hearing like what everyone else has to say, you start like changing what you want to do, and that's not how you should do it. You should do what you genuinely want to do. So yeah.
So with YouTube, as well as it has its benefits, what are some things that are just really, like, there's always a dark side to everything. So what would be some things that the people don't really know that you have to go through very often, or that you had to learn to get through, like overcome?
I would say,
Because there's always like the comments, the, you know, speculations. The videos.
Like people, sometimes people feel like they know your entire life just from seeing like 10 minutes of a video. Like, you really don't. We choose what we want to post. We choose what makes sense to post. Like, sometimes we record stuff and it'd be like, okay, this doesn't make sense to upload, so we don't upload it. And then at first when I started YouTube, like, the comments used to get to me, but after like the first, I want to say 5 videos, I was like, okay, it doesn't really matter what negative people say in the comment section, because I mean, personally, I wouldn't go put a negative comment on somebody else's like video unless, like, I don't understand how somebody do that. Like, they have to be having a really bad day, and even if I had a bad day, I still wouldn't do it. So like, I just don't read negative comments at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a time when you have come across a negative comment or a negative whatever it might be, and you just genuinely thought, like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, I don't know if I can be under the public eye anymore.
I've came across a negative comment once, well, maybe a few times before, and it killed my vibe, but it was never like, oh, I'm done with this. I'm never gonna do this again, because this is actually what I want to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not gonna let that comment stop me from doing what I want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is really important. It's a really important mindset to have, especially being under the public eye a lot.
Mm.
Does it ever like bother you, like, enough though? I feel like as much as, because you upload consistently, you know what I mean, every day.
Yeah, but I don't really read
Grind
the comments
to shine.
like that.
No.
No.
How do you distinguish, like, when you read the comments, because obviously you go through like some good and bad, like, how do you know, like, oh, this is a negative comment? Like, what's that process like?
Honestly, recently I haven't seen any negative comments for me
Which
to
is
be like,
good.
so like, I just be scrolling down, favoriting comments, and like, when I scroll down, I don't see negative comments. So I'm happy that at this point I have like a support base that are actually real supporters and not just people that watch to leave hate comments.
Yeah, that's good. So, your support system, I want to know, like, what the life behind the YouTube for Nate is. Who is your support system outside of all the social media?
My support system would probably be my girlfriend, and maybe I have friends like Damien. That's like one of my really super close friends. Like if I need something, I call him and he's there. So him, Michaela, I call my mom sometimes, but we don't talk about like YouTube stuff. But if it's like something that I need to get like information on, then yeah, she'll be there. But apart from that, oh yeah, and I also have a friend named Asan. He lives in the UK. Like we grew up together, so that's one of my close friends too. But yeah, those are the people I turn to.
So you don't talk to your mom about those social media stuff because it's not a conversation she likes to have, or it's uncomfortable?
I mean, because it's not something that she could really give me insight on because she's not on social media.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about your dad? Like, what is your relationship with your dad like?
Okay, so my dad lives in Trinidad, but my stepdad lives with my mom.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's like we're good, but we rarely ever talk.
Pretty distant.
Yeah, pretty distant.
Yeah.
Like I talk more to my mom than my dad, but I'm still cool with my dad. But yeah, we just don't talk that much.
And you don't have any siblings, like cousins?
I have a sister.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but no one knows. But my sister is probably like, I want to say 27 to 30ish. But we didn't grow up together. She actually grew up in New York because we had different moms.
Okay.
So she's my half sister. But yeah, I haven't seen her in maybe 4 years.
Really?
Yeah, but I spoke to her maybe a couple of months ago on Facebook.
Oh, do you ever plan on like visiting her or like reconnecting with her in any type of way?
It's honestly hasn't been on my mind.
No.
But I would if the time like presented itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk traveling. Let's talk moving.
Okay.
You said you from Trinidad to Canada to Florida to Houston to LA.
Yeah.
What is that like? Like, do you like leaving everything up and moving and like starting fresh? Like, is that something you like to do?
Yeah, I feel like I like having new experiences. I don't really like being tied down on just one place. So traveling is like a really good way to not be tied down and experience like new environments and different people and learn a lot of new stuff. So yeah, I like traveling a lot, and I want to do a lot of traveling actually. I want to really go to Dubai.
Oh, really?
That would be a dope trip. Yeah.
I have heard you talking about that a few times.
Yeah, I would love to go to Dubai.
So when it comes to like you starting a family, where do you see yourself? Like, you know, because I know that you like to travel and like starting fresh, and you get bored, I guess, of a place very easily. But where is like home to you? Like, where do you see you starting a family, like raising your kids, getting married, and settling down?
Okay, so it has 3 places that I would live for the rest of my life, but I'm not sure which one is gonna be right now.
Okay.
But it would be Toronto, Florida, and Houston.
Okay.
So right now, at this moment, I'll say Houston, but yeah, I would definitely love to have a family in Houston because the environment is so good, especially in like the areas like Richmond and Katy, and they have like really good schools and like the communities and stuff. Like it has parks in the neighborhoods. So, and when I grew up, I didn't even have like environments like that. So to see my kids playing in like a really good environment where they're safe would be a really dope experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to get a little deeper, the YouTube community, the ugly, what is that like? Like, I know you're not involved in a lot of drama.
What's the ugly?
I mean, the drama, the lies, the fake, the people chasing clout. Like, what is some things that you see behind the scenes, and doesn't even have to particularly be something that has happened to you, but
yeah, sometimes I'll be scrolling on YouTube and I'll be seeing like recommended like drama pages and stuff, and I just be watching it, and sometimes they're legit clout chases because I be seeing stuff like people like photoshopping people's faces in text messages and stuff, and I'll be like, damn, people really go this far to try to get some clout.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like what's his name? Cardi B and Offset has this song Clout. People legit be chasing clout. It's crazy, but I guess it comes with the territory, and you gotta learn to deal with it. Yeah, but I try to stay away from drama as much as I can.
You kind of just have like your circle of friends that
Yeah.
you know, or
Yeah, we just try to, stay to our
Over
side of the
there.
room,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all based here in Houston, or do you guys travel to see one another?
So I have like most of my homies, well, my close homies are in Houston, and then I have close homies in LA as well. So it's like a little of both.
And how do you meet these people? Obviously, they do the same thing you do, but like,
Yeah.
how do you come to the conclusion of let's hang out? Like, let's see what the
Okay,
vibes like.
so for example, Damien, we met like we were doing pranks and challenges at the same time, and then our channel started blowing up at the same time. So Damien messaged me, and then I responded, and then we started talking. And then after talking, we actually went on a vacation. We went to Miami, and then we really connected. And that was probably like, I want to say either 2 or 3 years ago. And ever since then, we've been cool. And then in LA, I've met like most of my people from LA from social media or from like dear friends, and we just being in the same room and talking. So yeah, it's either social media or in person, like around the same people.
Yeah, which is a good support system. to
Yeah.
have. So with being under the public eye a lot,
Yeah.
do you ever get like anxiety or ever fall into some kind of depression or anything like that? Like, has there ever been a time, not necessarily like you're still going through it, but you have overcome it, like you bounce back?
I wouldn't say I have anxiety, but sometimes like I choose not to go to the mall because I know if I go to the mall, it's gonna have a lot of people that watch the videos, and then that's gonna take away from what I'm trying to get done at the mall, because we're
Yeah.
gonna have to take pictures and stuff. So it's like sometimes I avoid doing certain stuff because I don't want to go there and get recognized. Like if I were to go to the mall, I would definitely not go to the mall on the weekend. I go to the mall when kids are in school and people are in work. So like basically during the week.
But it's summer, so the
Yeah,
kids are
so,
out.
So it's hard.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna put my hoodie on and just walk.
Wear a mask.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically how it be sometimes.
All right. So you and Michaela, obviously, you guys have a home together. Beautiful home, by the way. My goodness. Like, what's that like? What's your relationship like with her? Like, tell me, like Nate and Michaela when they first started dating, when they first started talking.
All right, so basically, we first started talking when I went to LA. I was supposed to be going to LA for vacation, and I ended up staying and getting a place out there. And while I was there, I was trying to record some videos. So I had a friend, his name was Khalil. Well, his name is Khalil. And I hit him up and I was like, do you know any girls that I could record a challenge with? And he was like, oh yeah. And then he introduced me to Michaela. And then we started talking in the DMs, and then
Goes down in the DMs.
yeah, we started talking in the DMs, and then at first I wasn't sure if I was gonna record with her, but then I don't even remember what happened, but somehow we figured out a plan, and then she decided that she would come and record with me, and then she came over. We met. She was hungry, so we went to Trader Joe's to get some food, and then we went to the condo to record, right? And that same day that we recorded, I feel like, yeah, that same day after we recorded, she ended up sleeping over and then never leaving.
The way you say that. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, you know. It blossomed into a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
2 years, right? 2 years going on.
Yeah, 2 years,
strong.
almost 3 years.
All right. Whenever you first introduced Michaela to your channel, like, what was that transition like? Like, has there been any hard obstacles that you guys had to face?
Honestly,
as a couple?
it was more hard for her than it was for me, because when I introduced her to my channel, that was like when I was fresh off a relationship before that. So a lot of people in the comments were going in on her, and she was new to YouTube too, so she didn't know how to handle it, and she was reading comments even though I told her not to.
Yeah.
But she still would go behind my back and start scrolling down comments, and then she would come at me angry, and I'm like, but I told you not to read comments, but you did. But yeah, at first that was like super difficult because she didn't want to record anymore, and it was just hard because I had to like motivate her to have more confidence because like she was taking what everyone else in the comments was saying to heart. So we had to deal with that. But after, like, I want to say a solid 2 months, she got over it. And
she got more comfortable.
Yeah, and now she's way better.
Yeah. It shows too. So with everything that, like, there's nothing you guys have faced as like real challenges together as a couple, or
I would say,
because you guys are under the public eye a lot, and there's always speculations between you guys' relationship. There's always videos being made. No, just the
I don't know any that comes to my
transition.
mind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever had any like beef with anybody else?
On YouTube?
Yeah. Or not necessarily on YouTube, just at all, like in general, like social media wise.
I mean, I had beef with my ex-girlfriend, but it was more her beefing with me than it was me beefing with her.
Oh, really?
Because she saw that I moved on, so she started making videos about me and stuff, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. We don't talk about that.
Nah.
That chapter has moved on.
Yeah.
She's like located in Houston. Does it ever like make you like
No, I actually seen her at the mall.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was shopping, and then they were recording a video in the mall, and then it was a public interview, but the people she was filming with actually came up to me and my boy Nair, and then they didn't know who I was, and then so I looked to the left and she was there, and we just walked away.
So it's not even like a civil type of thing, like
Nah.
how are you doing or anything?
Nah.
Damn. I mean, you know, it's like that. So, were you ever like bullied as a kid or anything?
Nah, because
I
I did
feel
like
you're like really, I don't know.
I did martial arts when I was super
Oh,
young,
okay,
so
got you.
I never got bullied and so.
No, because you're really
I was usually
shy.
like the person that would like try to prevent the bullying from happening.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
So you were the bully to the bullies.
Yeah,
like.
exactly. Like,
Okay,
nah.
okay, standing up for the little guys.
Exactly.
So what's like a day in the life of Nate? No social media stuff, like.
Well, a day in the life right now would be me waking up, trying to stay on this meal plan because the keto diet is super hard, but it works. I lost like 10 pounds in like a solid week, so that's good. And then probably recording. And if not, then we'd probably go do something fun like mini golfing, go-karts. We're actually about to go on vacation right now in like 2 days. Not gonna say where it is because that's a surprise, but it's gonna be a special vacation because it's our first like real vacation that we actually had to fly somewhere to go and actually do like stuff apart from San Diego. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your YouTube grind, you said that basically you build this whole empire by yourself, you know what I mean? So what's that grind like behind?
I mean, it's a lot of work. Like legit, yesterday I spent 4 hours editing one video, and it was probably like a 40-minute video. So 4 hours for a 40-minute video is a
time-consuming.
really long time. But for somebody that's starting YouTube, I would definitely recommend, like, if you don't have an iPhone and you're not recording with your iPhone, you would probably start off with a Canon G7X because that's probably the best camera you could ever get. That's not super expensive to record with, and then you could see yourself as well, so you know what you're recording. And then I use Final Cut too, but Final Cut costs like $2.99. So if you have like a Mac, I'd probably start off on iMovie, learn how to use that, and then after a while transition to Final Cut. But apart from that, the time and
The
dedication, I would say, I mean, it's super fun, so why not do it, you know?
You like doing that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, the editing be annoying. I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to edit this right now, but at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love doing, so I should be willing to put the effort in. But yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you like caught yourself like slacking off? Like maybe like a week went by and you hadn't like posted a video and you're like, all right, I'm slacking off. Like, I need to get it together.
Yeah, honestly, for a while, I lost like the drive and motivation to do YouTube because I was just like tired because I've been doing it for so long. So I was like, okay, what's next? And I want to say I took like a maybe 2-week break. And then after that, I came back and I felt relieved. I had new ideas, especially because doing it so long, you got to come up with new ideas all the time. So it's so hard to like try to reinvent like new stuff all the time. So that break really helped, and it, you know, showed me what I had, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. So came back better than ever.
So being from Trinidad, tell me what that's like the love and support. I feel like you're probably one of the most successful that came from there. So tell me what the love's like. Like, tell me how that makes you feel.
Honestly, I didn't notice it until recently when I started checking my DMs. I've been seeing a lot of Trinidad flags or, oh, you're from Trinidad too. And honestly, it feels good to have like that much support from where I grew up. And I never expected to be in this position that I'm in now. Even though I wanted to be in a position, I never really felt like it was possible. Well, I felt like it was possible, but you
just don't know until you're there.
Yeah, you don't know until you're there. But it's crazy though, because
like, any future plans on going back anytime soon, maybe?
I would like to go back because I miss it somewhat. But it's like, it's so crazy down there right now, and it's so dangerous that I don't feel comfortable going back because it's really not that safe. And like most, like even my parents moved from Trinidad to move to the UK because it's just like, it's like crazy down there.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like you would be like a pretty big target too.
Yeah, I'd probably be a target because like a good amount of people know me down there now. But if I do decide to go, I'm gonna probably like make it in a way where I'm secure and I could like move the way I want to move. But even if I were to go down there and get security, like it probably wouldn't even work.
Yeah.
Because it could be an inside job.
Yeah.
And like it's happened, like stuff like that has happened down there before. That it's like you just gotta know who to go around and like who you're surrounded by.
You can never really trust people.
Yeah, but I really do miss the food. I haven't had like a really good Trini meal in a long time, and I definitely need that. You definitely need to try some Caribbean food. It's really good.
Is there any places like in Houston that doesn't make you miss Trinidad's food so much, that's kind of close to home, or have you not found that yet?
It has a place that has like really good Jamaican food.
Okay.
But I need me some Trini food.
Yeah.
But it makes it a little easier because it tastes like it's from the Caribbean.
A little bit.
But I need some doubles. I need some bacon shark. I need some Trini food. Yeah.
So let's talk about your future 5 years from now. From this whole empire that you basically like built on your own, where do you see Nate 5 years in the future?
From 5 years, I see myself with 12 kids. Nah, I'm just playing. Probably 2 kids. Invested in a couple businesses. Owning a few more properties. Really into investments and traveling and spending time with my kids, because hopefully I have at least 2 kids by then, and traveling the world with them and enjoying seeing them grow up, because that was like one of my main goals growing up, being able to see my kids grow up and see them have a enjoyable life and enjoyable lifestyle. So I'm really excited about that. But
so you want to grind now?
Grind now to shine later.
All right, for your family later.
Grind and shine.
I see what you did there. All right, so speaking of kids, what are we talking? Like, what's the future like? How soon maybe? Maybe it's in the works. Maybe it's been talked about. Okay,
so we've been talking about it, and I'm hoping to have a kid born next year, like early next year, because the year is almost over, so it's probably not going to be possible for this year. But yeah, I really want to have
within a year, maybe.
Yeah, I really want to have a son.
A son.
Yeah.
What if it's a girl though?
I mean,
You can't
I'm gonna
say
be
it's a
happy
son.
if it's a girl.
Either way.
But I really want a son because I feel like it's gonna be easy to deal with. And if I had a daughter, like I'm gonna have to stock up on
Then it's gonna be two
some
against
shotguns.
one. How does Michaela feel about this?
Well, when we spoke about it, she really wants to have a kid, but you know, actions speak louder than words, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, and you guys plan on staying in Houston when this happens? That's the mindset
Right
right
now, I'm gonna say Houston, but it could either be Houston, Florida, or Toronto. Probably not Toronto because it gets super cold.
Yeah.
But maybe 6 months here, 6 months there. If you never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to see, and I can't wait to see that family channel.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be an adventure
Definitely.
for sure. But thank you so much for answering my questions. Let's move over to the fan questions, and I don't know. Let's see what they have to
Let's
ask
get it.
you. So welcome guys to the fan segment of the show. I am so sorry if I butcher some of these names. I'm looking at them and I'm a little concerned. But Spy Side Made Keelan asked, when are you coming to Trinidad and Tobago? Have you ever been to Tobago?
Okay, so I'm gonna be going to Trinidad. I'm not sure. I haven't been there in 4 years. I really want to go because I need me some good food, but it has to be under the right circumstances. So I guess only time will tell.
So it's just up in the air right
Yeah, it's
now.
up in the air.
Okay, HZIYACH.7. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Says, why don't you upload Fortnite videos anymore?
I don't upload Fortnite videos because I don't know. I got bored of playing Fortnite, and then my gaming setup isn't set up because we moved. Like before, my setup was like perfect. Now I'm just like I'm so busy that I don't even want to take the time to set up my gaming setup. I'm probably gonna set it up when the new Call of Duty comes out, but until then, I'm cool on Fortnite for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So KVNG.Edwin asked, what kind of video editing program do you use, and any advice for aspiring YouTubers?
I use Final Cut Pro, super good, a lot of effects and stuff. Advice, get a good camera, Canon G7X, my recommendation. Be consistent, do trendy videos. Sometimes you gotta follow trends, so like right now, like people are doing like last to leave challenges. That one's pretty solid. So do like stuff that's trending, try to come up with good concepts, good ideas, and do what you enjoy doing, because if you don't enjoy doing it, then it's gonna feel like a job. Yeah. So definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here on Behind the Likes TV, your first episode, and I'm so excited.
No problem. Appreciate you having me.
Is there anything you want to say to your audience?
Yeah. Appreciate y'all for watching this video, and remember, you gotta grind to shine. Love y'all. Peace.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Make sure to like this video, as well as comment down below anybody else you would like us to interview next, and subscribe to this channel. And I guess you gotta grind to shine, right?
Yeah. Love y'all.
All right, bye.